Hello and welcome to today's edition of Mexico News Network's Breaking News Business. I'm your host, Elliot Bullman. Remember to follow us on all our social networks and to catch us every day by logging onto our website, mexiconewsnetwork.com, for relevant stories and news. Let's start with today's show. Mexican businessman Jose Luis Martinez Alday, president of Grupo Lomas Travel, officially presented to the governor of Oaxaca, Alejandro Murat Hinojosa, the group's new hotel project, which will be developed in Bahia de Conejos in Huatulco. The development will generate more than 5,000 jobs in the state. The ambitious complex will unite 5 of the hotel brands of the Lomas Group: Dorado Royal, Generations, Hidden, Dorado Casitas, and Palafitos, creating spectacular scenarios for its visitors. Each room will have its own pool and will include the gourmet concept, as well as the quality and service of the hotel operator Charisma. Leonardo Mendoza, Vice President of Operations at Grupo Lomas, said, "This is the most ambitious project we've ever announced, and we're delighted with the approval. In fact, I'm pleased to announce that thanks to this, we'll be able to employ more than 5,000 Oaxacans, 1,200 directly and 4,000 indirectly." The meeting, which took place in the Riviera Maya, was also attended by the Secretary of Tourism of Oaxaca, Jesus Rodriguez Socorro, and the delegate of Fonatur in Huatulco, Ramon Sinova Solis. The project seeks to be a tourist reference in Bahia de Conejos, and Grupo Lomas has also contemplated that its Maya Air airline will have air connections to Oaxaca. Although the amount of the investment was not disclosed, it was reported that the construction will be completed in 18 months and will include 761 rooms. Moving on. The Mexican Stock Exchange reached a new historical high last Friday, surpassing 49,000 points. Now, this is the first historical record for the Mexican Stock Exchange in 2017, which closed on Friday at 49,083 points, driven largely by the shares of Azur. The previous historical level recorded was set last August at 48,694 units. Grupo Aeroportuario del Sureste, Azur, led the gains of the day, gaining 5.2%, selling its shares at 332.93 pesos. Santander and Banorte Bank's shares also posted gains of more than 3% in the market. The New York Stock Exchange closed with mixed results as shares of major indexes trimmed losses after learning that Republicans withdrew President Donald Trump's healthcare bill from Congress. This represents the first legislative setback for the new president, and markets tumbled. It's easy to get caught up in the heat of the moment. As recently as January, we were hearing from all sides that Mexico was heading for huge troubles following Trump's election. The peso plunged, Mexico's president appeared impotent, less than peaceful protests broke out across Mexico, and the mood fell into despondency. Despite this, though, the economy has been quietly humming along for years now, and its stock market has gone with it. Mexico largely sidestepped the Latin American slowdown that's been hitting the region since 2012. In fact, since Mexico's markets hit new records last August, they've stayed technically in a bull market, only dropping 10% following Trump's victory. In other headlines, Mexico's economy minister has urged local companies not to participate in the construction of a proposed wall along the US-Mexican border. Ildefonso Guajardo, speaking at a conference of Mexican iron and steel makers in Mexico City, said the government had no plans to take steps to prohibit companies from working on the wall, but he called on them to think about their brand's prestige in Mexico. There are more important things than business, like values, he said. Companies should think about how they'll be viewed in Mexico, where Mexicans don't want a wall. Rogelio Zambrano, chairman of Mexico's largest cement maker, Cemex, made headlines earlier this month when he said the company would consider providing estimates to supply cement to companies that participate in the project. Cemex later decided not to participate in the bidding process for potential suppliers. Cemex share prices have fared well since Donald Trump won the US presidential election in November last year, with investors betting the cement company stands to benefit from a proposed $1 trillion infrastructural plan. Guajardo said Mexican companies were free to make their own business decisions, but he told businessmen in the audience that it would be in their own interests not to participate in the building of the wall. And finally, let's check the markets. The Mexican peso decreased 0.24% to 18.83 from 18.88 in the previous trading session. IPC Mexico increased 0.47% to 49,313 from 49,084 in the previous trading session. This was all for today. Thank you for staying with us. I'm Elliot Bullman. Remember to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Google+. And stay tuned in at MexicoNewsNetwork.com for more information on Mexico and the world. Until next time.